matter what you do, I've been in the wilderness and I found my exit because God brought me out of it.
Let the Lord lights be burning. Send a gleam across the way. Some poor fainting, struggling seaman, you may rescue, you may save.
Hello, welcome to Kingdom Generals. This program is about men and women of God who are making maximum impact in our communities, in our cities, and in the world at large. Stay tuned and enjoy this program.
From Ireland, Northern Ireland.
I feel it, it connects.
Today in the studio, we've got a powerful and anointed man of God, a man that has been making impact away from the USA. And he's in the studio with us today to tell us about himself, his mission, and his mandate. Welcome to the program, Bishop.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and I'm excited about it. Just a good day and
Amen.
A good
Amen.
feeling about being able to share with you.
Amen. Could you tell us who is Bishop Warren Brown?
Well, Bishop Warren Brown is a person who grew up in the church. I had a father who was an EMU Zion minister. Grew up in a very strong, religious, committed family. I discovered early that I liked working with people and I liked the church. And so, as I've said, long before I decided what I was going to be, I knew what I didn't want to be, and that was a person outside of the church. So if you know early on what you don't want to do, it may lead you to what you do want to do.
That's right.
Many people wait until they're late in life to decide what. So I had an advantage. The advantage was that early on I knew that I liked the church, liked being around the church, loved church music, loved worship. All these things confirmed before the actual calling that this is where I wanted to invest in my life.
When did you first felt the calling of God in your life?
That's a rather interesting story. My pastor, who is now deceased, his name was Dr. J.A. Babington Johnson, said to me one day that, Warren, God has called you to the ministry. Now, while I liked church, I wasn't thinking at that point of a formal commitment to ministry.
That's right.
But he was very instrumental and convinced me that, well, wait a minute, I shouldn't say convinced me, he talked to me about it and later convinced me that this was something that I really needed to consider.
That's right.
And the rest became history.
What age are we talking about here?
Oh, I was about 17 years old when that
Wow.
happened.
So you started out that early ministry?
I started out early in ministry. By the time I was 18, I had a church. I had been assigned to a church. It's marvelous how God works. Because as your horizons are being lifted by those around you, God matches your spirit. God is not going to allow your horizon to be lifted and shrink your spirit. God always lifts your spirit in conjunction with the horizon that's before you.
That's deep.
And many of us just have too small of horizons, and our worlds are much too small. You've been married 48 years and you haven't thought about a divorce. I don't plan to get rid of her. I tell her she can't stay with me forever, never, never, but as long as she's around, I better keep her. Ezekiel, I tell her still that when I stand up and look out in the audience, and I see her, and I still say, that's a fine woman sitting down there.
My God, the devil's in the show.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
My God. Can you feel it, Bishop?
Yes! Yes! Ezekiel, when nobody's around, I walk by and I say, you still look great.
Welcome back to the program, viewers. We are here in the studios. A powerful, dynamic man of God away from the United States. He has been the bishop for the London and Midland district for the past 8 years, and he's now terminating his services here. but his relationship will be still maintained because he promised to be traveling to and fro, so you'll be seeing a lot more of him. So this is the man that we have in the studio and his wife. Welcome back to the program, Bishop. And we have got the First Lady here. Could you tell us a bit about your First Lady before I speak to her?
Let me present to you this marvelous First Lady that belongs to me.
Amen. Amen.
And I guess I also belong to her.
Amen.
And her name is Aurelia Brown, the marvelous mother of our 2 children and our grandchildren. She comes from a Christian family, Christian background, and I think that's why we've made it well together. We both grew up in the same city on the other side of town, not knowing each other, but indirectly our parents and relatives knew each other.
That's right.
And I told you how I noticed her, and she still looks great to me.
Amen. After how many years did you say you guys were together?
48 years, and she still looks great.
Wow. 48 years, and the love is still burning. What advice would you give to our couples today? That because nowadays, the examples that you see, even with ministers and bishops and leaders, that they're breaking their marriage relation covenant so quickly nowadays that the younger generation has no example to look for. What would you say to our viewers?
Pretty easy question. You don't always have to prove that you're right. As long as either person feels that he must always prove that they're right,
that's right,
you're going to have a storm. So if she says it's this way, I say okay.
That's right.
And I figure out a way to show her that it's my way is the better way.
I love that, Bishop. I love that. Are you serious on that one, Bishop?
I'm dead serious. We don't argue about anything. I say, okay. She says she wants to do something. Okay, that's what. And I'll say, oh, well, you choose.
That's right.
If you let your mate choose, there has to be all right. If they choose whatever it is you're going to do,
right,
where you're going to be, where you're going to go,
yes.
Sometimes I say, well, no, that's not what we need to do. But I'd rather give in than argue.
That's right.
And so people need to learn in the marriage relationship or the courtship, it's not going to work.
That's right.
If you feel you must have the last word. It really doesn't matter. What's the last word, and then there's an argument.
That's right.
What does it argue about?
That's right.
So if you give in before the argument, there's nothing to argue about.
That's right.
That's why she always wins.
That's right. Welcome to the program, First Lady. So nice to have you on the program. I see that you're married to this lovely gentleman, calm, cool, and collected. Could you tell us about your lifetime spending with such a man?
Well, my lifetime has been just that. Calm, cool, and collected.
Amen.
But at the same time, a great deal of excitement. A lot of love, obviously, that's been invested. And that love is a kind of depth that has transcended not only for myself personally, but for our family and for those persons with whom we work.
I felt as Bishop really influenced your life. Know that he has, traveling to and fro all over the place. Tell us about that. How do you cope?
Well, I haven't felt like it was a coping.
Okay.
But
Ezekiel,
yes,
I got to interrupt.
That's right.
She's happy because I cook breakfast every morning for her.
Wow. Say it again, sir.
She's happy because I cook breakfast every morning.
Wow. That's
Ever
beautiful.
since we've been married, I've always been the breakfast cooker.
Are you serious, Bishop?
Every day, if I'm home, she gets breakfast cooked for her.
Wow.
When she was working, the girls would go, I got up every morning, cooked the breakfast, made the lunches, cleaned up the kitchen, and straightened up the house every morning. She's had a good life.
First Lady, what do you have to say?
well, he's a rare breed.
Oh, my God.
And I understand that. And yes, I have been more than blessed to have him being very comfortable in the kitchen and the rest of the house. So it's been a shared journey, both inside and outside of the home. It's, wherever. So yes, I've enjoyed it, and it really makes mealtime a lot more enjoyable.
Wow.
It was 1 for 1. I cooked breakfast, she cooked dinner.
Wow.
And she's an excellent cook and an excellent housekeeper.
Beautiful.
So I don't mind providing the car and transportation because the trade-off is she keeps me fed and keeps my clothes clean. You got to sort of balance it out.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stay blessed as you listen to these powerful men and women of God. I hope your hearts will be inspired. See you next week at the same time on Believe TV, Kingdom General, men and women of God who are making maximum impact. God bless you. See you then. Bye-bye.
Stay connected.